Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching the segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, I'm going to be doing the Labradorite Dragon deck profile, also known as Dragonite Ariados, on Devpro, as you guys can see, mainly because I am missing the Autumns, and I will also be doing the Artifact Cyber Dragon deck profile because I am missing the artifacts. I keep selling them off. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just they just sell so fast, but in-depth depth profile of this deck. It's going to be extremely fun. I'm going to go into detail as I would with other decks, and you guys get to see my beautiful face. So let's get on to the deck profile. I'm going to run 3 copies of Dragonite. Dragonite is the key component to the deck. Without Dragonite, the deck would not exist. It has the best stats. It's level 6, 0 attack, 2400 defense, dragon, and a tuner. There's just so many things that this card has working for it, and that's why I call it the king of all normal dragons. It's dragon. It's better than Blue Eyes. I'm sorry. It just does. It has so much more utility. Really good card. We're going to abuse every single aspect that this card has, for the exception of 2400 defense. I guess we'll be abusing that too. But, and making this deck pop. Next is going to be 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I probably wouldn't run more than 1 even if I had the ability to, mainly because you really don't want this card in your hand. It's really you special summon it with Autumn just to make it more wacky plays, and then you finally go into Trident Dragon and you wound up blowing this card up, as well as a level leader. So it isn't amazing, but if you ever do get it in your hand, it's still some pretty stupid combos you can make to make game. There's really nothing much else to be said about this card. It's just an amazing card. But like I said, even if it was at 2 or 3, I probably would only play 1 just because of this deck's primal focus. It really doesn't need it that bad. 3 copies of Tefnuit. Tefnuit is the only heretic monster in this deck for one reason and one reason only. First of all, she can special summon herself. Second of all, if she's tributed, she gets to special summon the dragon. A dragon. It's really all I can say. She has just so much versatility in this deck. So many stupid plays with her. She opens up the rank 6 options as well as helps with synchro plays, and it's just a really good card. Next is 3 copies of Dragard. Now, Dragard is probably one of the most broken monsters in this deck, just because it helps mold the Tefnuit and the Labradorite Dragon in graveyard. Let's give an example. Let's say if I have Labradorite Dragon in graveyard and these 2 in hand, and just for kicks and giggles, let's say I have a Silent Doom in hand, I would special summon Heretic Dragon Tefnuit, then I'd normal summon Dragard. Dragard special summon Labradorite Dragon. Dragard effect tribute the Heretic Dragon Tefnuit. He becomes 1900 or whatever, 2108 stars, that's fine. So I'll summon another one. Go into Autumn. Autumn effect. Special summon, it doesn't really matter from there. Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, I guess. Red Eyes effect. Special summon him. Go into Leo. It's so many. I don't even want to say it. I didn't even mention this or the level eaters or anything in between. If you do have 2 level eaters, you can make him 8 and then eat him back to 6 and then exceed with him. So the deck is insane. Like I'm trying to say, this card is prime. It's #1 for the deck. It has so many wacky combos, especially the more you are set up. And this deck is so easy to set up with. It's not extremely hard for this deck to make plays like that. Next is 3 copy of Mathematician. I like Mathematician. Mathematician puts level eater in the graveyard. That's why I really like Mathematician. And if you guys did not know, let me exit out of this. I don't run 3 level eater, I run 2. I guess Devpro is just being a crack baby. Mathematician is amazing. It puts your Carbonatons to the graveyard. It puts your level eaters to the graveyard. It allows you to draw 1. It's a pretty solid card. I feel like it's almost mandatory. If at the very least late game I said it gets to strip battle or draw a card. Not really much else to say about him. Carbonaton is probably one of the more inconsistent pieces in this deck. If you guys feel free, you could drop it down to 2 or 1 because it's important, but it's not that great. It does allow you a free special summon of a Labradorite Dragon from your deck, so in that aspect, it is an amazing card. So I would really reconsider about before dropping it. It's also Mathematician target, like I said, but it's not mandatory inside of this deck. It's one of the lesser pieces, as I would say. It still does the job, it gets the job though. It's a free special summon from the deck. It doesn't restrict you from going as any other plays, so you can basically get a free Labradorite Dragon. You have level eater in graveyard, you eat the level eater, you go into a free rank 6 play, or level synchro play. It's just a really good card. Next is 2 copies of level eater. I feel 2 is mandatory for 2 reasons. First of all, you will be in a position where you'll summon multiple Labradorite dragons, and you'll be able to eat Labradorite dragons, or you'll summon a level 8 monster, a level 9 monster, a level 10 monster, and you will be able to level eat its way down to a 6 if it ever so happened. Secondly, your opponent knows that after playing the deck extensively, your opponent knows that level eater is the card that you love. If they get rid of the level eater, it's rough. So that's another reason why we play 2. 3, it's an amazing Trident target. You special summon 2 level eaters prior to making Trident Dragon. You make Trident Dragon. Hey, guess what? Your Trident Dragon has free food to destroy, and then you can special summon the level eaters right back there. If at the very least, this card provides an excellent source of defense. Not really much else to say. And last is 2 copy of Cheap. I actually should have named the deck Tortrick Dragonite. Ariados, mainly because cheap. It's a funny card. I don't want to say it's an amazing card. I want to say it's funny. Just because it special summons Labradorite Dragon from the decks to the field, nobody sees it coming. It's a flip effect. It helps you get Labradorite Dragons to the field as fast as possible. I was playing 1 at a given time, and I just felt that 2 is just there until I can find a way to drop maybe the Carbonodons, the cheap, and the Mathematicians for something better. I think I'll be playing that until then. The deck is pretty solid. Next on for spells, let me get some more of my pimp juice. Is 2 copies of Heretic Seal of Convocation. I probably would play 3. Even though, if they allowed me to, I probably would play 3, even though I only play 3 Tefnuit. Just because getting Tefnuit to a hand is crucial. I have so many ways to abuse Tefnuit once I get it to the hand. 2 copies of Silent Doom. That's obviously going to special summon your Labradorite Dragon to extend the play. Foolish Burials for Carbonodons and Level Eaters, making more plays. 2 Typhoon. This is Devpro. If I was playing it in real life, I'd probably drop the Typhoons for something else. But this is Devpro. 2 copies of Silver's Cry. Silver's Cry is superior to Silent Doom, but you can only activate Silver's Cry once per turn. So that's why I opted to run 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 1. Silver's Cry, which makes it superior, is that it's a quick play and nothing else. Nothing more to it. They're basically both say special summon Labradorite Dragon from your graveyard to the side of the field in this deck and nothing more. And 3 copies of Enemy Controller. Enemy Controller serves so many more purposes into this deck than you can think. Let's say you need to get rid of your level eaters that you just special summon, and you already have Labradorite Dragon on the field. Let's say you have Carbonodon on the field. You really don't care. Let's say if you special summon Tefnuit and your opponent has a level 4 monster you want to control, or you want activate Enemy Controller, tribute any 3 of those monsters, and you can take control of their card. There's so many dumb plays that I have made. For example, like I said, level 4 monster on your opponent's side of the field. Special summon Tefnuit, activate Enemy Controller, steal their monster, special summon Labradorite, go into Leo. Just amazing. I just snatched your monster and synchro summoned with it. Thank you. Enemy Controller provides so much utility inside of this deck. I really love this card in here just because, like, I have so many cards to get rid of, especially Level Leader since it's practically free, and Tefnuit since I get a monster from it. There's just so many things that Enemy Controller does for this deck over any other card. It's definitely the most broken spell card inside of this deck. Next is going to be for the Stun Your Trap lineup. Bottomless, Torrential, double copies of Breakthrough Skill, Compulsory, 2 Blackhorn Heavens, this is Devpro, and Solemn Warning. I actually decided to be proactive with back row just because the deck can do it. If I were playing in real life, I'd probably be playing against top tier, so it'll be a couple of changes to this deck, but since I haven't had the ability or the chance to build it in real life, I can't tell you what exactly I would change. So if I would probably expect an update, you guys, because I know you guys have been wanting this deck profile. I haven't had the utilities, but once I do build it, I would expect an update because I really do like this deck. It's an extremely fun little local level deck. Next for the extra deck is 1 copy of Leo. It's obvious Leo wins games. It's so easy to make. It's 2 cards makes, or 1 card makes Leo. Same thing with Trident Dragon, wins games completely on his own by his attack, because being able to attack twice is pretty good when you have a 3000 attack monster. 1 copy of Gigantic Castle. Gigantic. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually Gigantic Castle. Okay, sure. The reason why we run this over level 8 monsters, which I'll strongly reconsider, is because there's time where I have Carbonodon or Mathematician on the field with Labradorite Dragon, and I'm just like, yeah, not really good. Gigantic Castle is the only level 9 monster that we can go into, and don't get it wrong, it's pretty beefy. I can even make it. Sometimes I make it 30 what, 3,100, 33, I make it like 3,500, so it's nothing to scuff at sometimes, and just having a beefy level 9 monster on the field isn't that bad. I can't make Mistworm as easy as I can make Giga Castle, because this card only requires 1, Mistworm requires 3, or 2, this Mistworm requires 3. Black Rose Dragon, I've used this card quite a few times, especially when an opponent tries to overextend. I just Black Rose the field and then go from there. Normally, it's an OTK. 1 copy of YuGiOh Guardian, level 6. 1 copy of HTS. HTS is really good. I can't stress how good HTS especially is in this deck. 2 copy of that spider Pokemon. Ariados. There we go. 2 copies of Ariados. Ariados is snatch your bitch. Like, if you think YuGiOh Guardian genuinely says snatch your bitch, Ariados says snatch it, I'm not giving you back. Fuck what you say. Its effect reads, if you target one, you can target one face-up monster. Or no, I'm sorry, it doesn't even target. It says select one face-up monster your opponent controls and equip it to this card. If this card will be destroyed by battle, you can destroy the equipped monster at a time. Instead, you can only equip 1 monster at a time with this card. So, oh, I'm sorry. Also, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells and traps during damage. How can I forget that? This card is extremely broken. It's dope. The only reason why it's not played in this meta is because it requires a Dark Tuner and an insect type monster, which, if we point back to Labradorite Dragonite, it has everything going for him in that aspect. It's a Dark Tuner, and you know, it's a level 6 for a level eater who just happens to be an insect. So with that being said, he fits perfectly with Labradorite Dragon, and he has an amazing effect to go with it. Next is going to be, for X-Seeds, 2 copies of Thunder Charger. You will use them often. There'll be so many times where you use double Thunder Chargers just to go for game, or just to get that piercing damage for game. 1 copy of M7. This helps us loop in a couple of cards. Sometimes even gets rid of the opponent's pesky threats. Let's say if you're playing on Devpro, because you will be playing on Devpro with this deck, I assume, and you're going to get the Spirit Reaper. You look at this deck, it doesn't have much. Not really much. It has enemy controller, compulse, breakthrough skill. Well, M7 is a monster that allows you to bounce the opponent's cards in the hand without interrupting your plays. It's stronger than Thunder Charger, and it just does so much more for the deck. So that's always a good option to play. 1 copy of Photon Strike Bouncer, 1 Gauntlet Launcher, and 2 Heretic Dragon Autumn. That's practically going to sum up the extra deck. It's not really much else to say about the extra deck except that these are some really solid pieces. I definitely will try to fit some more level 6 synchros, maybe even that level 8 monster. So I'm not really 100% sure what to drop out. Maybe the Strike Bouncer. It's actually been underperforming like normal. For the side deck, don't really take these to heart. These are just cards I just threw in there because I know they'd work. Maxi helps you get to your cards faster. Fact Veiler stops the opponent. Typhoon, you'll need it. It's Devpro. And Light Imprisoning Mirror is actually controversial because it kind of hurts your Tefunuit and it does hurt your Autumn. But the deck that you're probably playing against, it should hurt them a lot more, so you don't really have to worry about that. With that being said, thank you guys for watching another segment of The Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.